Okay, I'm going to show you some snowflakes that were generated with a free Snowflake generator. And what I did was bring the generated snowflake in to make the cut and added some dimension using the duplicate nested. So these are some of the snowflakes I made. I posted these at the MTC Toots today, so you all can download these particular ones. But I thought I would just show you, some people were asking about, well, how do you use that? It wasn't real obvious to me at first how we use it. So the site is this one called Inventables, and it's a snowflake generator. It's free. So when you go to this site, you start with kind of a blank page here. I'll click on, it seems that I'm not really getting the full thing. I don't have a cursor here.
Try doing a refresh on the page. It might help.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said try doing a refresh, an F5 or a refresh. Sometimes it'll start that up again.
Yeah, there it is. So when you get to this page, you see 3 orange dots on here, and the way you create your snowflake is you just move these 3 dots. I'm still not getting a cursor. Weird. I'll refresh again. Maybe I'll just not use my mouse. So you're going to grab one of these and just drag it to wherever you want. Now you can take it in, you can take it out. Mostly this one is in or out. Get a kind of a star here. If you take it out some more, you get different behavior. And then there are other dots, so you can hover over them and you can kind of move them around. And every time you move them, you can get more little dots to move, and you can again move them wherever you want until you get a design that you like. And once you're done, once you have a shape that you like, then you can save it as an SVG by clicking on this right here, Save as SVG. I like to, when I did this earlier, I know it's the webinar making this be all weird, huh? Somebody was saying they couldn't get it to work. But what mine did is it opened up in a new window here. So I'm just going to right click and Save As, and then I'll just save it as maybe Snowflake 7 SVG. And when I get into Make the Cut, I'll just open a new page on my Snowflakes file. And I'm going to click on SVG at the top of the screen and find that file that I just saved, which was Snowflake 7, and click on Open. So now I have the snowflake on my page, but these snowflakes are kind of plain, would prefer a little more fun. So to do that, I went to Edit, Duplicate, and Nested Duplicate. Now you can play around with the settings in here. I thought I don't want probably more than about 5 different snowflakes to work with because I could get pretty busy, but you could even have 2, 3, whatever you want. You can click Preview and see what you get. I'm using by scaling this time. That gave me, I set the gap at 0.6. You could change that gap to maybe even 0.2, and you see what happens when you do that is these shapes are all closer. If I did let's say a 4 preview, well, it's a little better, but I kind of like my center shape to be a little bit smaller. So each design is different, and I kind of play with it. Well, I like the way that looks, so I'll just click on Accept. But I wonder if I used a different kind of nesting, if it would look any better. So what I'm going to do is hold Control-Shift and drag that bottom shape that I started with over here. And I'm going to do it again, Edit, Duplicate, Nested Duplicate. And this time I'm going to do it by shadowing with a minus shadow to create something inside and see what happens here. Well, that's not real interesting. I could increase the count a little bit, but I think it's the gap that makes a difference here. Maybe minus 0.1. Now I get a lot more pieces showing. Minus 0.3. Well, that's okay. Minus 0.2. Well, it looks okay, so I'll accept that. So this one is by creating Inset Shadows. And this one was made by keeping the image exactly the same, but just smaller. Every time each one of these is made, you'll notice that the next one inside has a different shape. On this one, the inside shape is exactly the same as the outside shape. So there's two different ways of creating nested designs, and either way it's kind of nice. So play around with it, with the nesting, to see what you can get. So on this one, I'll make a duplicate here. I came up with this design here. Only the original design, I'm going to try to zoom in here. The original design had lots of little pieces that overlapped, so you might find that you have tiny, tiny little pieces that you probably would not want to cut all those tiny little pieces. So what I did is I went through this. Originally, these square shapes were not here. There were little diamonds that were cut out, and everything was its own individual piece. Well, it looked real pretty, but I would not want to cut it. Let's see if I can find the original. I don't know if I kept it. I don't think I did. I should have. These diamond shapes all just touched at one point. They weren't even connected. So they could be cut out, but they'd all fall apart. So instead of cutting fallout parts, I clicked on the eraser over here, eraser tool, and I set the inverse eraser, and then I just drew. Let me make this maybe 6, a little bigger. I just drug this across the pieces with holding down the control key. I got a straight piece, and then I could connect anything that was separate just by drawing a little bit and working my way around so that the design was all connected. So I'll zoom back out, and the result is, instead of each one of these points being its own shape that would fall apart as the original snowflake was, I was able to make this all one piece so that when I shadowed it, it turned out to be a really pretty design that I think I could enjoy these. So I don't know if somebody had complained that, oh, you know, this star had so many pieces, I don't know if I'd want to do it. Well, I agree. I don't want to have tons of pieces, unless I were working with vinyl maybe, where I could pick it up with transfer tape. But cutting these from paper or any other media, I wouldn't want all these pieces to be separate.